the comments of both the mover and the seconder of this bill on the debate that we had before this House, and the many others that we've had, including in public barazas, funerals, rallies. You know, Mr. Speaker, that is testament to the work of Senate and how important it is, particularly this bill, division of revenue, and eventually, once we have shared it between the national and the county governments, Mr. Speaker, to now share it amongst the 47 devolved units, Mr. Speaker, via the county allocation of revenue bill. And therefore, I want to congratulate the members of the Budget and Finance Committee who have taken time, worked diligently, and have now presented before the House a report, Mr. Speaker, a report which I will refer to most of the time in the submissions that I'm making before the House on what I think about this bill, Mr. Speaker, and the findings that have been made by this committee. Mr. Speaker, I have said times without number that I value and respect the work of every committee of this House. But unfortunately, because of having served longest in my own career in this House in Budget and Finance Committee, I take a lot of interest in the work that they do. I follow it with keen interest. That's why when Senator Roba was moving this bill, that was out of the House when he began, I quickly dashed in to listen to him, to grab a copy of the report, and acquaint myself with what are the thoughts of the new colleagues. What do they think about county allocation of revenue, perhaps from a different eye. In fact, this is the first opportunity, Mr. Speaker, I get to read and see Kara, not as a member of a committee, but just an ordinary senator, and want to see it from the perspective of our colleagues who have taken time, listened to the presentation, the request that comes from the various county assemblies, Mr. Speaker, which is quite important. This is not a practice that was long established. It's something that we began a few years ago. Otherwise, back in the day, Mr. Speaker, once division of revenue was out of the way, there was very little interest on Kara, actually, Mr. Speaker. But with the introduction of ceilings, after we did the amendment to PFM, must have been 2019 or 2020, Mr. Speaker, and empowered our committee to be able to vary the various ceilings for individual county assemblies via the kind of request that both Senator Faki and Senator Roba were referring to, Mr. Speaker, then people took interest in this particular bill. And I want to congratulate our colleagues who have taken time. I will then quickly move on to, Mr. Speaker, the crux of the matter. 385.425 billion is the amount of money before the Senate, Mr. Speaker. And we are being asked to share this equitably amongst the 47 counties. Not equally, but equitably. A word, Mr. Speaker, that will take time for many to understand and distinguish. But that is what separates us and the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker, that on many occasions, on matters such as CDF and the rest, but Senate, through its committees and what they've been able to do over the years, is able to set out a formula, Mr. Speaker, where we can equitably distribute these resources between all our 47 county units, taking into consideration the various dynamics and the difficulties. Mr. Speaker, you know that this country almost split right into the middle. And you know that debate is still alive between one man, one vote. It is actually Senate that added the 1 kilometer, because we said